Hi students, next we can study about the design for a helical gear. Before that we have to know how the helical gear will work. For that please watch this videos. That is, this figure shows a helical gear and the shafts are placed as parallel and there will be a small angle inclined, that tooth will inclined with a small angle. As we can see, as in the video shows, we can see the contact of the gear or the mating number of mating gears are more in this case other than the spur gear. Not the parallel, not only the parallel shaft, but if there is any aligned shaft or any kind of inclined shaft, we can use this type of helical gear, because that angle of inclination for the helical gear gives the changes for the shaft system. As that figure shows, I can read this section. In helical gears, the teeth are in the form of a helix. That is called as a helix angle. That the helixes may be right-handed on one gear and left-handed on other gear. Then only the mating will happen. So the helix may be one side it will be on right hand and other side it will be on a left hand, and we can see that that is, helical gears may be of single helical or double helical type. In case of a they explain what is the advantage of single helical gear and what is the advantage of double helical gear. That is, in case of single helical gear, there is some axial thrust between the teeth. In order to eliminate this, we can use double helical gears, that is generally known as herringbone gears, that I show in the problem section. So we have to design for a helical gear for a parallel or crossed or any inclined shaft. We can use these helical gears. This method is available only through that helix, because there is some changes, some angle in between the shaft. Then what are the advantages and disadvantages of helical gear? Helical gear gradual engagement. So the engagement between the helical two mating gears are very gradual, and disengagements of teeth reduces the noise and dynamic load. That is, the engagement and disengagement are gradual engagement, but in this case of spur gear, the sudden engagement will happen, so there will be a noise. But in this case, that is in the helical gear, the noise will be very less. Then we can use for more application other than this spur gear, because this noise is very less. And next we can see that the drive is smooth and shockless and without noise, vibration and impact. These general discomfort areas are very less in the helical gear. Next one, it is suitable for low and medium power at high speed. So due to the helix, we can the noise will be less, also the engagement will be smooth, so we can use it for high speed sections. And the gears can be surface hardened to higher BHN. Due to helical shape, the gears are subjected to axial, radial or tangential loads. Both loads can transfer. Then the axial load can be eliminated by using herringbone gears. Herringbone is a double helical gear. We can use double helical gear during that time. Then next one, comparison between spur and helical gear. So we already know about what is spur gear, and now we can discuss the helical gear. So we can compare the spur and helical gear. That is, spur gears have a high straight teeth, but helical gears have their teeth cut in the form of a helix only. So in this spur gear section, there is a parallel cut. Here there is a helix section, that is a helix angle. Here used with parallel shaft. That means the spur gear section we can use fully for parallel shaft, but In case of helical gear, we can use either parallel or non-parallel shaft. Next one, we can operate the spur gear. We can operate only at low speed, but the helical gear we can use at high speeds. Then load is suddenly applied, as the figure shows that during the teeth in the teeth combination or the contact of teeth, there will be sudden action will happen, but in the helical gear gradually is applied, so we can apply a high load also. Then operation is very noisy for a spur gear, but in case of a helical gear it will be smooth. The dynamic stresses are very high, but in the helical gear the dynamic stresses is very low. Then pitch line velocity, we can use the pitch line velocity maximum of 8 meter per second in case of spur gear, but in a helical gear we can use from 20 meter per second to 30 meter per second. The next one, when the spur gear begins to engage, the contact extends across the entire tooth on a line parallel to the gear axis. But here, that is for a helical gear, the contact begins at one end of the entering tooth and gradually extends diagonally along across the tooth face as the gear rotates. That means the contacts of the gear are different. Next one is, you can use the helical gear to sustain greater tangential load, but we cannot say any tangential load in the case of spur gear. Then application of spur gear, we can use spur gear in a washing machine and the electrical screwdriver, etc. In automobile gear system we can use helical gear, and also the turbine they are using helical gear. We can discuss about terms used in helical gear. First one is a helix angle. That is another angle we have to study. It is other than the pressure angle. Pressure angle will be there, and helix angle we have to study. That is the angle made by the helices with axis of rotation. In the figure I can show that where is that helix angle will come. And another one is pitch. Axial pitch, we can denote it as PZ, is same as the circular pitch, and therefore it is defined as a circular pitch in the plane of rotation. So as we know that the axial pitch is same as the spur gear, and the normal pitch, it is not in the spur gear. It is the distance between the similar faces on adjacent teeth using helix on the pitch cylinders normal to the teeth. It is also defined as a circular pitch in the normal plane perpendicular to the teeth. Then I can show this figure. From this we can identify some technical terms. That is, there is an Fn, that is the normal force. Another one is Fa, axial force. Ft, tangential force. And from this figure, the tooth will come in this shape. There is an angle. That angle we call it as beta, the shaft axis, and to the angle of cut, that is the tooth cut, that is known as beta. Then from this figure we can identify this angle is also beta, that is the same angle, and there will be a P, that is the distance between the pitch. Then there is alpha angle, that is the pressure angle, that we can discuss later during that problem. These are the terms used in helical gear. Beta is a helix angle, Ft is a torque producing force, and the Fa end thrust, that is axial force, and the next Fn is the normal force. Pc, generally we can denote it as a P also, that is circular pitch. Tn is another section, that is normal circular pitch, and B is the phase width that we already discussed in spur gear. And next one is module, and Mn, that is another term we have to study here, that is termed as normal module. It is in a plane normal to the tooth. That during that problem I can discuss how to Mn will come. Okay. Another important term we have to study in the helical gear is a virtual or formative number of teeth. I show that figure later. Then please write this one. The plane normal to the gear teeth intersect the pitch cylinder to form an ellipse. the gear tooth profile generated in this plane using the radius of curvature of ellipse would be a spur gear having the same properties as an actual gear, as actual helical gear. That means you can see this the cross section from here. It is in the form of an ellipse. That is the shows that that writing shows, and we can take the number of gears here. That will be considered as the formative number of teeth or virtual number of teeth. We can denote it as a FE. And the radius of curvature of an ellipse we can take from that figure, that is RC is equal to D divided by cos square beta. Then the virtual number of teeth of on an equivalent spur gear we can take using this equation, that is Z is equal to PL into 2RC. That is, we can write it as, that is, the virtual number of teeth on equivalent spur gear in normal plane is called the virtual or formative or equivalent number of teeth. So that is similar to the number of teeth on the spur gear for that particular area. Or we can complete this equation as, that is equal to Z is equal to Z divided by cos q beta. This equation is also provided in our data book. From our data book we can take this value, that is 12.52a. We can take these values, and using that equation we can find the virtual number of teeth. For in our design problem we have to calculate, or we have to find. Then we can study the design methodology for helical gear. As we solve in the spur gear, here also there are two methods. First method is depend on the, if the pitch diameter is known, we can use this method, that is we can calculate FT, the value of FT and K. Using that FT equation we can identify the value of sigma D. From that equation we can check if the design is safe or not. Then we can calculate the value of MN, that is the module. Then second method, if the diameter is known, then we can calculate using this method. First of all we can take the value of MT, that is equal to torque force into distance, that is equal to, here the distance is radius, so that is equal to D by 2. And next, using that equation, using this equation, that is Ft is equal to MTD, we can use this equation and compare this value with compare these values, and using this equation next we can find the value of module from here itself. So we will get Mn from this equation, and we can check the values also. Then we can find the form factor, tooth form factor Y, K and CV. All the terms used here are similar to spur gear system, so it is not complicated from spur gear, almost same, but there is a helix angle, and using that helix angle we have to find how the gear will mate, and also during our calculation we have to find some more terms, that is Mn or ZT. Likewise we have to add some more terms only. So please go, please take your data book and identify what are the terms used in a helical gear, and please take that figure from your data book itself and identify what are the parameters we have to calculate. And all other methods are similar to spur gear that I show through the problem. Thank you for watching.